Well, I think first and foremost, Joy, this is a great opportunity. I respect all the contributions that have come across. So it's sort of exhausted most of the points that I had. I think we've put emphasis on corporate governance, regulators' role, and so on and so forth. But I think what we are missing is the Africans' attitude to governance. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, and I'm saying this from the perspective of UT Bank, because that is what I used to run. And I'll be quite blunt about it, but I'll choose my words carefully. When you build a local institution which has been acknowledged for so long and so on and so forth, and we've grown from, let's say we started with a staff of 3, and at our best we had a staff about 2,500. You expect, as was done in the US and other places, that the government will try to keep its own and not just treat it anyhow. So to Mr. Nani's point about systemic banks, mostly foreign banks. So what are we going to do in terms of creating local banks? That's the question that I'll leave. But to come to my point about the Africans' attitude towards governance, and I'll be straight about it, as I said. In UT's case, about a month to UT's closure, we had a meeting with the Bank of Ghana. And we were promised that with that, the investor we brought, within a few weeks, we're going to evaluate it and then get back to us so we have an EGM to inform our shareholders. And we're a listed company. Now, 1 week to the 14th of August, when UT was surrogated, a letter was written by Bank of Ghana to our investor that they didn't like the investment. We were not even copied, but that investor was our investor. Then you look at the way UT was arrogated. It didn't need policemen at dawn 6 a.m. as if it's a rolling school. And then GCB staff and the press at 6 a.m. to close a bank, and then go and destroy the signages as if it's some satanic shrine. Now, why I'm saying that is not how banks are closed down. And there must be a process. And I love it. I mean, I'm not saying UT should be kept at all cost. If UT wasn't doing well, and the government decides that for whatever reason it will close it down as the process requires. Now we have issues where other banks were closed down under different circumstances. Then you don't know, depending on who is giving the instructions. And I tell you, the governor that I met, that is Dr. Addison, is a decent gentleman, and he has merit. I'm sure he's a good governor. So how come he can act anyhow? In other words, the political parties that we have, and it's everywhere in Africa, they interfere with the appointment of the people. Either they will appoint somebody who hasn't got the merit, or you appoint somebody who has a merit but who pull the strings. So this cleanup, which is not complete, as my friend here said, is going to come back again because the powers that be will go around proper corporate governance and regulators because they put them there and they will still pull the strings. So for Ghana, we have a problem, and in the whole of Africa, we have a problem. Because I don't know who is instructing people to act differently on different occasions. I will just buttress the point with the increased minimum capital of 400. Some banks were left giving some time to find the 400. Some banks merged, they didn't have it, but wait, the government says go. Some banks, for strategic reasons, they shouldn't touch them. Some banks, government will raise money to back them up to make the 400. Who does that? What kind of economy are we running? It's so subjective, so haphazard. If we don't get our leaders, and I don't know how, to actually respect the people and respect systems and institutions, this crisis will come back again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prince Kofi Amoabeng, for those interesting and blunt comment there.